He has defeated one of the top Soviet fighters at 156 pounds. And of all the fighters in the world, I would say to you, the Soviets are always tough at 156 pounds. So it is Thomas Tate, who was a little bit overweight when he came into the tournament at a pound and a half. He's in the red, and in the black is Michael Moorer. And this, Alex Wallow, could be a very good fight.
Thomas Tate in the red on the left of your screen right now, Keith, really is the best story coming out of this tournament thus far. Frank's younger brother by a year, as you said. He came into this tournament with his coach, Faris Purify, just to get some experience. This is his first national tournament. Purify, the coach, is absolutely shocked that Tate beat Kevin Bryant last night in the semifinals, who's not only the best American light middleweight, but maybe the best light middleweight in the world. Tate beat him relatively easily, controlled the fight, and here he is in a final, not just to get experience, but maybe to get a title.
Yeah. Michael Moorer, on the other hand, Charles Garner, his semifinal opposition last night, retired after 2 rounds, having been down a couple of times and rather thoroughly pummeled. And Charles caved in after 2. So Moorer had a very good outing last night. I think the principal weapon, and it's surprising, the more you watch Tate, the more you realize he gets very good leverage on his left hand. But I think his principal weapon is that short looping right hand that he loves to bring over the top.
He used it very well last night against Kevin Bryant to score that upset. I'm a little bit surprised he's not moving more right here, Keith. He's playing right into Moorer's hands. The one thing that the inexperience of Thomas Tate, where
the big gun right there of Moorer, he just missed.
A big factor will be Tate's inexperience may give him problems against the left-hander. He may not know how to handle left-hander as well as others might.
Well, we've got this peculiar thing here where I'm not sure but what his coach would like to keep him at home. He might not want to send him up to Reno in the middle of May to run in some of those tough European or maybe a Korean boxer.
That's exactly right. Faris Purify told us this morning that if Thomas Tate wins and thereby qualifies on the first step towards qualifying for the World Championships next month, he will recommend that Thomas not go. He just doesn't think he's ready. But he says he'll leave the final decision up to Thomas Tate.
Well, if he wins here today against this fellow Moorer, you know Thomas has got to say, yeah, hey, where's my ticket?
That's exactly right.
I mean, you got to. He might get tattooed, but he would also be he obviously is declared in a learning process. So perhaps I'm just almost certain that he would agree to go on. But right now, his principal problem is a fellow named Moorer who's got a bloody nose right now.
Yeah, that left hand, that left jab is tattooed Moorer pretty good.
A lot of punches thrown by Tate here in the early going, and that's really right there the first time that he has gotten wild at all, as we are now in the final seconds of round number 1, 156 pounds. To round 2, 156 pounds light middleweights in the red, Thomas Tate. In the black shirt, Michael Moorer. It's been an action-packed fight from the beginning. Tate seemingly taking the edge in the final minute of the first round. In case you'd like to know who the referee is, I'll tell you. His name is Stan Hamilton. I call him the Knoxville Bear. He doesn't play pool, though, but he is a fine referee. You know why? Because you never notice him. He's very, very inobvious, and that's always a good sign. Spinning around, Moorer, caution for that. Hard, look at that. Tate stick that right hand in the stomach of Moorer. Good belly shot by Tate.
Michael Moorer is not a fancy Dan. He's a very hard-working fighter. Worked his way up through the junior ranks. He doesn't waste punches. He's much more economical with his punches than most amateur fighters. His problem right now is he's letting Tate take the play away from him. He's letting Tate get off first, consistently beat him to the punch with lefts like that.
Tate throwing more punches, being the busier fighter, and the 5 judges at ringside will certainly take that into account. Elmo Adolph, Lester Hebert, Chuck Williams, Rafael Ramos, and Emma Robinson. Yes, a lady who's been judging amateur boxing for 10 years.
Tate looks a little bit tired here, Keith. These last few punches he's missed badly.
Well, he threw over 100, the guesstimate was in the first round. Moorer gets tougher as the time wears on. The third round, he will be tougher than he was in the second round. And we'd like to alert our local stations that at the end of this round, we will take the station break. Frank Tate is Olympian older brother, relatively quiet, sitting across the way. He's beginning now to be heard. Oh, look at here. Good exchange there, with the gloves flicking off one another and reducing the impact of either blow.
Harris Purify says Thomas Tate is a thinking fighter, that he'll use his brain, that will outsmart Michael Moorer. And right now, up to the middle of this round, halfway through the fight, he has been doing that. But Moorer's heavier punches are starting, I think, to wear Thomas down a little bit, although he's still busy, still scoring.
Well, Kevin Bryant against Tate last night had a little trouble. Tate's willing to give you some ring. He'll give up the real estate, but then he'll stop and stick you. And when he sticks you, you know he's there.
And that was Frank's style as well. Frank always gave ground. Remember the final against Sean O'Sullivan in Los Angeles? Frank backed up through most of the fight, but he was able to score backing up.
There's a solid left hand straight to the jaw of Tate by Moore. He didn't get the spot he was looking for. He got the inside instead of the outside. And we'll be back with more of ABC's Wide World of Sports after this from our local stations. Here we go to the final round. And Moore opens with a solid left. And Tate, they worked on him last night a little bit. He tends to get that hand open and he'll hook it once in a while. And they don't like it. And each time he has been cautioned about it. But again, remember that this is a learning process for him, and he has really been a surprise. Mora now is starting to get him with that left hand, though I've got to suggest to you that Tate's left hand wasn't too tacky either. It's a close fight.
Yeah, very, very close fight. I actually have Tate winning both of the first two rounds, but they were almost close enough you could score them even.
I thought Mora came on strong in the last minute of the second round. And again, he's scoring inside here now. He's reaching Tate some with that short stuff inside.
Good left by Thomas Tate. I almost said Frank Tate. I thought he would have done it more often. Good short chopping left inside.
Oh, there's that left hand by Moore again. He nailed him twice with it. Tate the first time seemed to blink, but the second time he had his head right back in the mill.
Michael's a little bit bothered by that nosebleed. You see him pawing at it. Affected his concentration slightly.
Tate, good right hand, following a sharp left jab.
This is a fight that if you were scoring under professional rules, you probably would have had Michael Moorer winning the first two rounds. He scored the heavier punches.
Yep. There's a combination by Moore, another one by Moore. Thomas Tate must be careful now in the final minute. You can score a lot of points in the final minute, and you know Tate's tired now because his mouthpiece almost came out. In fact, it did, didn't it?
No, I think he got it back. Yeah.
It almost came out.
It was close.
And that mouth drops open like that. It is called fatigue.
Yeah, he needs air. He'll harden up as time goes along. He'll develop that stamina. He doesn't have it right now. And Michael Moorer will also. He's still just relatively a baby. They're both, with Moorer has a little bit more experience, but they're both relatively untried. Although Michael Moorer, a little cosmetics, Michael Moorer did look very good earlier this year in a couple of dual meets with the USSR. Won one, lost one, but he showed he could hold his own at the international level.
If this age is correct, 1967, Moorer is the younger of the two by a year.
He's Pat Nappy's kind of fighter.
No foolishness.
Exactly.
Get right to it.
Listens well, works very hard.
Tate with a flurry. Moorer comes back. 15 seconds to go. 156 pounds light middleweight, and it's been a war from the opening bell. Trading. Both showing guile. But perhaps more importantly, both showing courage. It's over. So we'll wait for a moment for the decision. Tough fight, Michael Moorer and Thomas Tate. The computer get very interesting. You see, Tate threw the greater number of punches, but connected only one more time than did Moorer, whereas Moorer's percentage is much higher. Who then was the dominant fighter? Who won the close one? Here's the call.
In the blue corner, Michael Moorer.
With fewer punches, he got his job done. It has to do with a sense of authority, the sense of control, and Moorer wins it. Alex, you have the cards.
Yeah. I'm looking at the scorecards here. It was 3-2 Moorer, and it couldn't be much closer.
Well, I had it scored dead even in points and in the sense of control, the sense of win, because you don't have draws in amateur boxing. I had given it to Mora. It was that kind of a fight. Back in Beaumont, and the 98 U.S. Amateur Boxing Championships marching right along on this Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow we'll be bringing you the Santa